You know, the way you act, the values you hold, even the words you choose, they're all shaped by these invisible forces you probably don't even notice most of the time. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on two of the most powerful of those forces, culture and identity.
All right, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll tackle what culture even is. Then, we'll look at this cool idea of it being society's software. From there, we'll get into how it shapes us personally, how we build our own identity inside it, and finally, how we can get better at navigating this whole complex cultural world we live in. So, first things first, what exactly is culture? I mean, why is something so absolutely fundamental to our existence so easy to just completely ignore? You know, this quote really nails it. Culture is just like the air we breathe. It's everywhere, it's essential for our social lives, but most of the time, we're totally unaware of it. It's only when something changes, like when you travel to a new country or meet someone with a really different background, that you suddenly notice, whoa, the air feels different here. So when we boil it down, this is what we're talking about. Culture isn't just about what country you're from. It's the whole package, the shared symbols, the language, the values, the traditions that makes one group feel like a group. And that word, shared, is the absolute key. It's the glue that holds us together. Okay, so to really get how this works, there's this fantastic analogy we can use. We need to see the difference between society and culture. They're obviously related, but they're definitely not the same thing. Okay, check this out. Think about your phone. Society is the hardware, the physical device, the chips, the screen. It's the structure, right? But the culture, that's the software. It's the operating system, the apps, the invisible code that tells you how to use the hardware and gives it all meaning. Without the software, the hardware is just a useless brick. And this software isn't just one single program. Nope, it's got layers. You've got the mainstream culture. Think about something almost everyone knows, like the Hunger Games movies. Then you've got subcultures, like hipsters, which set a smaller group apart with its own style and values. And sometimes you even get countercultures, which aren't just different. They actively push against the mainstream, trying to change the whole system, like the hippie movement back in the 60s. So, if culture is the software running in the background, how does it actually get installed on our personal hard drives? How does it end up shaping our personalities and the choices we make every single day, often without us even having a clue? Well, here's a really, really big deal. Culture can give us totally different operating systems. This table shows one of the biggest divides sociologists find. On one side, you have individualist cultures, which are all about the I. They value independence, standing out, and personal achievement. But on the other side, you've got collectivist cultures, which focus on the we. They value group harmony, and your identity comes from belonging to that group. All right, so we've talked about the big picture, the group. But what about you? How do we build our own unique sense of self, our identity, out of this huge, messy mix of cultural influences that we're all swimming in? Well, it turns out our identity isn't just one simple thing. It's built in at least 3 different layers. First, there's your personal identity, the stuff that makes you feel unique, like your hobbies. Maybe you're a gamer. Then there's your social identity, which comes from the groups you choose to be a part of, like a sports team. And finally, there's your cultural identity, which is based on these bigger categories we're often just born into, like our nationality or gender. So to see how this all plays out in real life, let's take a look at this story about a guy named Leo. He's a high school football player, and he just got a concussion. The first cultural world he's in is his family. At home, their culture is all about health and safety. So what do? They tell him to rest up and take it easy. But then, on Monday, Leo walks into school and bam, he's in a totally different cultural world. The culture there is about competition and academic performance. His teachers are concerned, sure, but their main focus is on him not falling behind on his homework. A completely different set of priorities, right? And then, after school, he faces a third, totally conflicting culture, his football team. On the team, the values are all about toughness, grit, and being there for your teammates. The pressure is on to just play through the pain. So think about it. Leo is just one person, but he's being pulled in 3 different directions by the competing values of his different cultural groups. And here's the thing, we are all Leo. Every single day, we are all navigating these different cultural worlds with their own rules and expectations. And living in that reality means we have a really important choice to make about how we see and interact with people who are different from us. It really boils down to these 2 different ways of looking at the world. On one hand, there's ethnocentrism. That's when you judge another culture using your own as the default, as the right way. The other path is multiculturalism. This view sees cultural diversity as a strength and believes that all cultural traditions should have equal standing and respect.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Understanding all these invisible forces doesn't just help you understand the world. It gives you power. It gives you agency. It lets you become aware of the software that's running in your own head. It lets you look at all the cultural scripts you've been handed over the years and ask a really powerful question. In this world of overlapping cultures, who am I choosing to be?